Hello and welcome to Dave's Model Workshop. Today I'm going to be showing you two 132nd Mustangs. So one of them I've just finished in the last few weeks. It's a 132nd Hasegawa Mustang, P-51 Mustang, and the other one I finished in about 1986. So this is a really old kit. It is a Revell 132nd kit, and it's the Smithsonian Institute release. So I'll show you a photo of the box art from this one. So I loved that box art when it first came out. You know, the newspapers, the medals, all that stuff. There's a whole series of those Smithsonian boxes, and they just looked amazing, and that's what grabbed me. So much so that I actually recently built a Hurricane, purely because I'd always wanted to build that Smithsonian Hurricane. So yeah, look, you know, it's quite a difference between the two. I guess 31 years of experience would make a bit of a difference, and I guess also 31 years of being in storage also hasn't helped this baby. So I would have been an early teenager when I built this, and I've kept it all this time. I was rummaging through the shed recently, and I found a whole bunch of my old models that I haven't looked at for quite a while, and I thought, oh well, that's amazing, you know, I've got my old 132nd Mustang, I've got my new 132nd Mustang. What's interesting? What can I point out that's different? I guess, you know, on a most fundamental level, with the old one here, let's see if we can get this, you can definitely see, where it's been painted with a paintbrush. So all around here you can see all these paintbrush marks. The decals have obviously not lasted very well over 20, 30 odd years. But I guess that's the most fundamental thing, is, you know, painting with a brush versus painting with an airbrush. So if you look at the rather sorry excuse for exhaust stains here, and then look at what I've done with exhaust stains over here, you can see the big difference that an airbrush would make to anyone's modelling. I guess the other main thing that I would look at here, and you know, this is not an excuse to beat myself up, you know, beat up the 13-year-old me, but yeah, I remember at the time being really chuffed with this. I was really happy with it. It was moulded in, it was finished in a flying position, so the gear is up. I mean, look at those seams, sweet God. You know, it's lost a few pieces over the years, but I guess the main thing is just, you know, the level of detail that you'll take as a more experienced modeler. And I'm not saying that I'm the best modeler in the world, but with time you realise that the little details count. So things like drilling out the gun ports. Here, they're not drilled out. And over here, let's try and zoom in. Over here you can see that they are. I mean, I'm not saying that seam is terribly good. I still hate the seams on this Mustang. That leading edge seam here is atrocious, and it's about equally bad on this baby. So, you know, 31 years and still stuff up some things. I was about to say a rude word there. What else can I point out? I guess, you know, these kits are both quite old kits. I think both of them are sort of originally a 1960s moulding. So I can't say that this newest one is radically better than the old one. You know, if you compared, say, this baby to a brand new Tamiya 132nd Mustang, streets ahead. Anyway, I'm going to show you some details, take a few photos, and you know, get into some nitty gritty here. On both models, the engine cowling comes off. So it's quite similar on both. You can see, I think pretty easily straight away there, how much more effort's gone into the recent Mustang, and just how much more weathering is there too. You know, you compare that to this, and you know, the only weathering is actually some crappy exhaust port, some gun muzzle exhaust, and that's about it. The only other weathering is where it's actually just gotten dirty and dusty and the decals have peeled away in an authentic chipping pattern. But yeah, I guess, you know, if I look at them, yeah, I keep coming back to it's all about detailing. I'll take some shots of the cockpit interiors and show you those now. It's quite tricky to get the light inside there so you can see. That's about as close as I can get it, but you can see the detail that's inside there. Quite a bit of detailing on the radio bank at the back. Sorry about the wobbly camera work here. And on this baby, that's a bit easier. There's some pretty cartoonish dials. Also, weirdly, a really tiny seat on this one. And yeah, look at that great big sink mark on that seat. But it's a really small seat. So yeah, look, I guess, you know, the two kits are about equal in sophistication. Perhaps the Revell one has the crazier riveting than, say, the Hasegawa. I think the Hasegawa's riveting is a little bit more restrained. The panel lines are a bit better as well. Yeah, you can definitely see a difference there. Look, I think it's just, you know, I didn't want to come out saying one kit's better than the other. They're both about equal, to be honest. But definitely, let's see if we can get this camera a bit more straight. Quality camera work. Definitely, you can notice a difference in your own modelling style. And you know, I'd be horrified if I was still preparing a model the same way that I did when I was 13. You know, 30 odd years later. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful. You know, really, it's just fun to see how far you've come, really. And I recommend to all modelers, keep your old models. If you at all can, keep your old models, because it's amazing to see how far you've come. Just earlier today, I had someone looking at one of my top 5 hints for beginners model videos, and they were saying, oh, you know, I'm going to start off with all 5 of these on my 3rd model. And I thought, well, you know, that's great if you can do that, but you know, don't be over ambitious, because it's quite a beautiful thing to just, you know, do one new technique on today's model and then another new technique on next week's or next month's model. And you can definitely see how far you've come, and you can get a real sense of the progression of what you've done over time, and that's a very satisfying thing. And I think, you know, all of us in this hobby, we like to see how far we've come. We like to see what we can do and how we improve and how we get better. That's, you know, it's the whole point of it, really. Otherwise, why do it if you're just going to do the same thing for 30 years and never challenge your techniques or never challenge your preconceptions? Then, you know, what's the freaking point? Yeah, look, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I don't think I have any grand ideas other than what I just said about, you know, modelling philosophies this time round, guys. But I just thought it was fun to think, oh yeah, I do have 2 1/32 Mustangs, and how different are they and how far have I come? And, you know, if you get a chance to do it, check out some of your old crap models and just, you know, see how far you've come. If you've ever lost your mojo while modelling and you feel uninspired, definitely I reckon that would give you much impetus to see how good you are and get back into it. And yeah, it's just fun. And it's also really satisfying to pick up a model and not worry about breaking stuff on it, because it's already stuffed. So yeah, look, this has been Dave from Dave's Model Workshop, showing you one of my more ghastly models and breaking one of my new models, and that's karma for saying it's fun to touch a model without worrying about it breaking. On that note, I'm going to walk away, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this. if you've enjoyed it, I might be convinced to show some of my older, crapper models, but I don't know, guys, they're pretty embarrassing. Anyway, till next time, see you later. Bye.